Good morning, Miss Lizovi. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing good so far. Are you?
I am good. Did I pronounce your last name correctly?
You did.
Okay, good. All right, we're gonna get started in a little while. I'm kind of looking through my notes. Not too much to say other than check your calendar, and check your calendar. Because April and May is just lots of, little events going on. Most importantly, kinder graduation. So we'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, I was like thinking, good grief, it's almost time for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Seems like they just walked in the door and they just they know the routine. We know them all. We got it down pat. Now they're moving on down the road.
Right. Although I have to admit, I am looking forward to actually having him go to school just right across the street because we live like nearby to the Odell one.
You live by Odell. I do.
Yeah.
I do too. I live on Azure.
Oh, I live in Carter's Ranch, Connemara Trail. That's where we are.
Oh, okay. You're just right up the road.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
Right here.
And my youngest too, he's like, every time Ethan goes to school, he's like, what about me? And I'm like, you're going to pre-K very, very soon, like this year. So you have nothing to worry about on that.
Oh, we'll get one next year. Okay.
Right. Well, actually, no, he's going to go to Stonebriar first and then for kindergarten itself.
For the kindergarten. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. I'm looking here for my. Oh. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, I've kind of clicked off everything for a minute. I wanted to bookmark something else here. All right, here. No, that's not what it wanted to do. Okay. All right, just to get it ready. I don't know how many people are joining us today. I'm going to start just a minute after 9. I don't think very many because some people couldn't come but want to get the recording. So it might just be 3 or 4 of you actually live, if we can say that, for the virtual meeting, and then I'll send everybody else the recording. So what did you think about Zooming in each month? Was that good?
I think it was good because I got to hear the updates about school, the recommendations of, because I had some issues like with my son. He was the very first 2 weeks of school. 2 weeks of school. He was cranky, very emotional. I think he was just really tired. But I mean, the sessions helped me out in getting through to him,
Yeah. So yeah, just to know what to expect and what's kind of the normal transition and not, yeah.
Yep.
It's a big switch. So let's see if she wants to unmute herself. Heather, which mommy is this? All right. So yeah, next year we're thinking of doing the same kind of thing of doing a virtual coffee in the morning because parents that have little ones at home, you don't have to worry about getting a sitter or dropping them off first at daycare, or if you're working from home and you can take a little break because these don't last very long, then you're free to do that. So we may follow the same format next year, even though I'm hoping that we can have some visitors come on our campus, unlike this year. So we'll see.
Yeah, that was the bummer, I must admit. I was like, I was looking forward to going to school, having lunch with Ethan once in a while, see his actual friends.
Yeah, getting to see what his environment is each day. Absolutely. Yeah, that's important.
Oh yeah, it is what it is.
All right, let's see. To my other mom, let's see, she's still on mute. Oh, here comes.
It's a little windy here. I'm outside at the park.
Oh, okay. Hi.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know if you want to hear it.
Okay. I'm going to mute everybody in just a minute. But I don't know if you heard, I was just saying that we're gonna probably continue virtual next year. Not you, I know y'all are moving on down the road, but did you like the virtual?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, makes it a little
Yep.
easier. See, you can go do your walking or whatever you're doing.
right. Yep,
Attend the
Yeah.
meeting. Isn't that awesome? That's
Yep.
beautiful. Yeah.
yeah. And I had two little ones still at home, so it would have been hard to get to any of the meetings.
Yeah. Yeah. So this way you can, and if you're in an office, you can take a break maybe, or kind of, some people are able to multitask. They can still be working at one computer and watching a Zoom on something else. So, good morning.
Morning, Miss Jeannie.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's good. It's getting near that crunch time, when we start, well, it is the 9 weeks where we start looking at preparing them to move down the road. And it just seems like they just came.
Go ahead.
They just came and now they're moving on.
No, I was telling a friend of mine the other day that I was expecting things to slow down as we neared the end of school. And it just seems like there's more and more and more and more, like right before.
Lots of activities at the end.
There
of school.
is.
Yeah, a lot of, in fact, did I put this today in the PowerPoint? I hope so. That, the track and field, and then the graduation and the
Mhm.
end of the year kind of little event, as well as any meetings we need to have with parents,
Yeah, it's a
get
lot.
information to the new school. So yeah, it does kind of snowballs right there at the end. So we're preparing. Plus, we're also, as staying here, we're already planning for the next year, which is kind of weird. I go home at night and I get like 10 emails about next year's events. But we have to set our calendar early and make
Yeah,
early. So it's kind of,
makes sense.
yeah, our school, I have been in schools, well, you all know, for over 40 years. So my life is a school year, not a calendar year.
Yeah.
I'm always forgetting when I talk to people, well, it's almost the end of the year, the school year.
Yes, makes sense.
All right, I have 9:03. And there's 3 of you in here. I know that we had a lot of people that want the recording, but weren't able to attend. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And, my philosophy, each one reach one. So you're going to tell at least one person what you heard today. And feel free to, when I send the recording later, to send it on to as many people that want to hear it. Sometimes I think Ms. Alvarez posts the recording. I'm not sure. But you're welcome to request it from me if you don't get it. By the way, if you were here last time, you didn't get your t-shirt, let me know. I hope I got everybody's t-shirts that we're supposed to get them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and let's see, what do I want to do here? Share. My PowerPoint with you here. I don't think I see anyone else joining in with us. Okay, so let's see here. It's like I haven't done this in a hot minute. Okay, so here is our can everybody see? All right, here is our opening slide. And I'm always going to apologize that I can't make you a real cup of coffee, because that's kind of the way I was brought up. You got to offer people a cup of coffee. No, if you were here, if you were here, I definitely would. All right, so there's my tears, because this is our last year. We will not have one in May. All right. On my sheet, I wrote a little note. It's been a challenging year in many ways. We've had to all think outside the box so many times, how to do something differently, how to do something safely, how to stay within the guidelines of things that are allowed. And so I really appreciate you tuning in every month. So just doing the virtual coffees was an experiment. And I think it turned out okay. We're considering this next year. So for those of you that Zoomed in, if you have friends and neighbors that also Zoomed in before, give them a big thanks for me. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you shared a little and continue to share a little of what you learned. I'll send you probably sometime at the end of the year, just a brief survey about counseling, the counseling program at Salina Primary in general, including the coffee. And feel free to leave your comments, suggestions, criticisms, things that maybe that could be different time, different day, different formats, different ways of presenting it virtually, if you have some suggestions. And once again, feel free today, if you know, sometimes I'm thinking, oh, it's on my mind, I want to give her this idea while I'm thinking about it. Just if you don't mind leaving it in the chat box, that's fine too. You can leave a comment there. Oops, let me let this printer in here. There she goes. Good morning, Ms. Turner. Thank you for joining in with us. All right, so this is our, if you just joined in, Ms. Turner, this is our last coffee. All right, but I have certainly enjoyed doing them, and I thank you all for joining in. All right, so.
Directly to the information to help you understand.
You are welcome. I think you cut out the end, but let's see here. All right, our agenda today is pretty much the agenda we've always had, our updates. I tried to copy some of the important events that Ms. Alvarez has highlighted, some updates from our PEAMS coordinator, our nurse as well. Yes, I'm going to say a word or two about Career Day because it's coming up fast and furious next week. The virtual Career Day. I've got a lot of great videos, but there is no limit to how many I can put in the slideshow. And then our word for the month of April is honesty. That should be a really good one. And our spring events we'll kind of just briefly touch on at the end. So next Friday, not this Friday, but next is our Career Day. So this Wednesday, tomorrow is College Awareness Day. That's when they wear their college shirt. If you, it could be your alma mater or someone in your family. And then, by the way, this continues when they go to Odell and to Likens. So the College Awareness Day is a district initiative. So all schools on the first Wednesday of the month do College Awareness Day, and college jerseys and jeans are allowed. And then the kindergarten graduation picture day is on the 14th. That went the next Wednesday. Then that Friday's career dress up day. So you see, you're so lucky that you zoomed in this morning. You've got a little extra time to go on Pinterest and find something cute, clever for Career Day. Something easy for Career Day that would interest your child. So this is Career Day now. So no princesses or Superman. All right. I know they all want to be a princess or a Superman right now, but I told them they need a backup plan. So there's not the dollars for those two right now. So the last day to order yearbooks on the 17th. No school on the 26th. I read on Facebook, I was scrolling through, and that looked like some people were kind of confused. Maybe the other districts did their second bad weather day on the Easter Monday, or yesterday. But our second day is on the 26th. And then track and field day at the very end of the month. And by the way, today is librarian day. Let me let Ms. King in here. It's not too late to make a card this week to thank Miss McElroy for doing an excellent job in the library, as well as hosting the 2 book fairs this year, which went very well. We had lots of great volunteers that helped with that. School bus driver day at the end of the month if your child rides the bus. And then I'm going to talk about this morning. Very, very important, Teacher Appreciation Week. You also want to be ready for that. And then there's our graduation and the last day of school on the 27th. I'm sure there's some things in there that I missed, but just to give you an idea, there's a lot of things that you'll need to be aware of, a lot of things happening. Oops, one more person joining us here. All right, I think I got everybody. Oops, did I skip nurse? No. All right, so Miss Barley is our PEAMS coordinator. She does also make sure the grades go through, and she also does the attendance, and then I review the attendance. She's the person that she's the first stop for attendance notes. And then she also is the person that takes care of enrollment. So this is always a huge confusion for everybody. So please pass the word around. if you're in school, if your child's in school now, they're in Salina ISD. So you don't have to re-register because they're already registered for Salina ISD. But you'll enroll in the school that they're going to next year in the summer. So you really can't, oops, somebody else is joining us. So you really can't enroll like Miss Lazovi, you were saying that your child's going to Odell. You really can't enroll in Odell right now for next year because it's not available. If you go on Parent Portal, it's not there yet. So you'll get an email, I'm sure, this summer telling you when it's available, and you'll go on your Parent Portal site and you'll enroll for school in the fall. Now, if you have a brand new neighbor, brand new to the district, or new kindergartner entering, they have to register when we have our registration. So be on the lookout for that. Now, there's also sometimes confusion when it's a preschool child. Parents think because they were in preschool, they have to re-enroll for kinder because it's sort of a different program. But no, they're already, if they're in preschool, they're already in Salina ISD. So you'll just wait and enroll them in the school the following year. Or I mean, the summer, not the following year. All right, so I hope that sort of kind of clears it up, the difference between registering and enrolling. And you will do that through your Parent Portal. Everything is online. All right, now we kind of have we're having a little issue with, I don't think we're regressing in potty training. I'm not saying that, but I think we're so excited about spring and playing outside and having fun that we're forgetting. So we have had kind of an uptick in accidents and needing some change of clothes. And so Miss Razor can only put so much in her little office, different changes. So it's really helpful. If you can pass this word along too, it's helpful if your child has a change of clothes in their backpack. And some of you are so good about just putting it all in a Ziploc bag. They just discreetly take it to the bathroom, change, put the dirty clothes in the Ziploc bag, and then take it home. It's real easy. Not only if for bathroom accidents, but also when we have all this rainy weather, you know, they get their clothes muddy or something on the playground. So go ahead and update that and make sure that it's clothes that still fits them because they've grown, and it's seasonally appropriate clothes. So not something like a sweater in long pants that you put in, say, November. So if your child does come home wearing some clothes that isn't theirs, it came from the nurse's office. So if you'll just kindly wash them and then return them back so she can use them for other emergencies. And Ms. Razor has done an excellent job this year, by the way. Be sure, and when you think of thanking at the end of the year, she has really gone above and beyond. It's been a challenging year. I think you'd all agree for nurses. The number of phone calls she's had to make this year, I'm sure, is an astronomical number. All right, now this is what I mentioned earlier. Our Teacher Appreciation Week is coming up. And this is when this is the opportunity for you to let your teacher know how much you appreciate all they've done for your child. So I found this little meme. We now know what life without teachers looks like. We've had that little taste, like, you know, during times when people were quarantined. You know, it's not fun when we have to take on the role of teacher at home. So this was a very challenging year. I want to use challenging because people had to make last minute adjustments constantly, and I think they've really come through like champs. So a little handwritten note is always appreciated, especially if your child adds a little something to it. I know they're still young, they can't write a whole letter, but adding a few words in there and their name and a picture is really going to be appreciated by them, and they do keep these. If you could go in their rooms, you would see on their desk, you know, their little board by their desk, they'll have these little notes still tacked up there. So they do hang on to these, and they're very meaningful for them. So I need you, if you're thinking, well, I'm not very crafty or I'm not a real Pinterest person, it's more just, the kind words and the kind thoughts they will really appreciate. So I'm giving you a lot of heads up here, all right, to put that on your calendars, Teacher Appreciation Week. Oops, let me go back here. All right, now, I had the same slide in the last coffee, and it's important. Coffee, a career day at Salina Primary. It's going to be virtual. If you weren't here last month, right now I have a total of 10 videos, each 5 minutes long. A couple of them are from community members, a few from parents, and then a couple of teachers. Their husbands did awesome videos for us. So the sky's the limit. Anyone, as I mentioned earlier, if it's your next door neighbor that does this really cool thing, that's fine. You could videotape them. If it's, you're really in tight with someone in the community that has their own business and you want to nudge them to do a video, that would be great too. If they want me to go in and hey, I'm not a video photographer, but I'll just take my phone and do the little 5 minutes, and I've done it for a couple of people here. And yes, they're kind of cheesy. You hear my little, hey, boys and girls voice, but the kids will love it. They get to see the actual work site. And if it's you or your husband or grandma or grandpa, if it's someone they know, oh my God, that's my daddy, that's my mommy, that's my grandma. So that makes it even more meaningful if it's someone they actually know. So for those that joined us late, it's career dress up day. And then what they're going to do, there's a PTA program in the morning, as well as one surprise outdoor visitor. I'll just say a surprise, someone that's paying a little brief visit. And then throughout the day, the teachers, these little videos are like 5 minutes. So they might show a couple of them and then go to lunch and then come back and show a couple more. And so they're not watching an hour straight through of videos. So what I'm saying is the sky's the limit. If you send one next Monday, I will try my best as long as I can upload it in time. Now that I have the slideshow frame done, I'll just insert it into a slide so the teachers can show them at will throughout the day. So it's not too late. I know I put a soft deadline at the end of March, and that helped me get at least 10. But in reality, if you were like, man, I wanted to send one, or I know someone that wanted to send one, it's not too late. And feel free to email me or put in the chat box any questions. All right, so if you're wondering, let me glance at my chat box here if someone has a question about that. Is there any way to get a list of all our kids' teachers? Yes, I can. I can do that. You know what? When I email the video, I'll see if I can include that. All right, let me go back. All right, so if you know someone, you can just, screenshot this and send to them. What do you say? So say, hi, my name is, for example, my name is Miss Jeannie, and I'm a school counselor. I work at Salina Primary, and I work with kids in pre-K and kinder. And this is my office, and this is where I work. And see all the books, those are like my tools. That's what I do and use in my job. I read stories and we talk about them. And if there's a uniform, I say, this is what I wear to work. Or, you know what, I can't say when I was in kindergarten, I didn't go to kindergarten. When I was in first grade, I wanted to be a teacher. But you can tell them, I've had someone say, when I was, a gentleman, a lawyer who will be in our slideshow, he said, when I was in kindergarten, I wanted to be Batman. So really, be honest and get down to their level and tell them, that this is why, but I decided along the way that I really like, reading or doing this, and this is what led me to do what I do today. And then what's your favorite part or least favorite part of your job? So and moving around as you talk is great. If you're moving around your office, if you're in an office, if you're on outdoors, if you know someone that's outdoors and they work with equipment, showing us some of the equipment they use, the tools. They are always fascinated by tools of any kind. And if you can get an animal in there, I don't know, your cat or dog, that's always a hit. When there's an animal in the video, that makes it even more special. So 5 minutes, that's all they have to be is 5 minutes. And believe me, 5 minutes is long enough to get a lot of information. So if you can help me out, those that joined in this morning, please pass the word along. I would appreciate it. I'm stuck here. I am frozen. Okay, here we go. Our character strong word of the month this month is honesty, as I mentioned earlier. This is the definition poster through Character Strong. Living truthfully in your words, actions, and thoughts. So this is a real good character trait to review with your kids at this age because they love to tell stories at this age. And we read the story, The Boy Who Cried Bigfoot. Now, we read that one in kindergarten. I haven't done it in pre-K yet, but if you want to look it up on Amazon, it's a cute little book. It's just a play on The Boy That Cried Wolf. And the kids realized real quickly that because he told stories about really seeing Bigfoot, when he really did see Bigfoot, no one believed him, and they caught on real quickly. And so this is a really good little springboard book to read with them, to kind of remind them, you know what, when you're always saying things that aren't true, when you finally say something true, no one's going to believe you. You know, it's important to tell the truth. So sometimes I like to embellish their stories, especially like if I ask them what they did over the weekend. Several of you have taken trips around the world over the weekend. You know, they want to say something fantastic, you know, and you have to remind them, let's say what really happened. It's important to tell the truth. Honesty is a virtue. It's something we value. All right, so, and it also is a good time when you talk about honesty, you can review courage, which was our character word, I think in maybe September, and teach the value of honesty, model it, equate it with courage, because let's face it, it takes a lot of courage to tell the truth sometimes, especially if you think, man, I'm going to get in trouble. It'd be a lot easier not to tell the truth. So they think, you know, and then, but when they finally do say, well, you know, I didn't forget it. I just didn't want to do it. Or I left my folder at school because I didn't want to be in trouble. You know, you can say, well, you know what? That took a lot of courage to tell me. That took a lot of courage. I'm so glad you told me the truth. All right. I'm disappointed that you left your folder at home, you know, and I'm disappointed to hear that you got in trouble at school today, but I'm glad that you had the courage to tell me the truth and that you didn't lose it. And these are some other really good literature connections for things that I'm doing in my program this month. We're also doing the little positive behavior incentives each month. And this month it's the sunshine tickets. So be sensational, spread sunshine to others by, you know, being kind, using kind words, being helpful. We're always reiterating that. And so we're doing a lot of stories and activities with things that make me smile and make me happy, and ways that I can spread sunshine to others. And I just added this last book, I'm Happy Sad. I just actually purchased it on Amazon a couple of days ago. Sometimes our kids at this age start to realize they have mixed emotions about things. Well, I'm happy. For example, I'm happy I'm going to first grade, but I'm kind of nervous. I'm kind of sad I'm leaving Salina Primary. But I'm happy that my friends and I are all going to, you know, Likens or Adele, you know, and I'm sad I'm not going to see my teacher anymore. But I'm excited that it's summertime. And so they have all of these different emotions. And they start to realize, you know, that their day is full of a mixture of emotions. So I'm Happy Sad is one of the few books I've ever found that explores that with little kids. So check into that one. I liked it. Penny and Her Marbles is just it's been around forever, by Kevin Hinks. That's the man who wrote Lily's Plastic Purse, I believe. And that's a good one about honesty. And then Ruthie and the Not So Teeny Tiny Lie is a good one about honesty, as well as Little Croc's Purse. So just some other books you might want to explore, especially if you go to the library. And then when we talk about sunshine spreaders, I am personally not doing the bucket fuller this year, but it's always a good one for kids. I mean, it was a #1 bestseller forever. It's a great reference in life, you know, like my bucket's empty, my bucket's full. I think even as adults, we refer to that little metaphor. So how full is your bucket? If you have that one, it's a good time to bring it out. You know, when you're spreading sunshine, it's like you're putting little drops in the bucket and filling it up, saying kind and doing kind things for others. So that's another little book suggestion for those of you that like to kind of reinforce what we're doing in counseling and in our SEL, social emotional learning at school, with things at home. Now, speaking of mixed emotions, you will need to start preparing your child emotionally for first grade and moving on. My story that I will probably be sharing with them is about the little snake, the little green snake, Birdie. And I know you're looking at the book cover and saying, well, it's yellow. But apparently, this particular snake in the story, as it grows up, it turns yellow. It's green when it's young, and then as it gets older, it starts turning yellow. And the little snake doesn't want to grow up. And I had a child tell me the other day when I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? He said, I like being me right now and playing with my toys, and I don't want to grow up. And he was really serious at the moment. The thought of growing up kind of scared him. And he was so happy just being him right at that moment. And it reminded me so much of this story, because the little snake is having so much fun playing with his friends. And he's like, I don't want to grow up. I want to move on, and your child might feel that way. I don't know if I want to go to first grade. I don't know what are they going to do in first grade. That's going to be a new school. So listen for the what ifs. That was the best advice I found on any website I've looked at on preparing kids for first grade. Is sometimes they're okay. And sometimes they might have a few worries, but they're not actually going to walk up to you and say, I'm worried about such and such, because our kids don't express themselves that way just yet. So listen for the what ifs, like, well, what if my teacher doesn't like me? Okay, there's a clue. They're a little nervous and worried about meeting the new teacher. So that would be a good time to talk about, well, remember you were worried in kindergarten the first day. You remember the night before you got a little worried? And then when mommy dropped you off, you were a little sad for a moment. And the end of the day, it was so great. And you loved it. And look, now you love your teacher so much in kinder. So listen for the what ifs is my best advice I can give you for getting ready for next year. And then I put this last video, let's share. Anybody have anything that they want to add? Let me look to see. You can either say it or put it in the chat box. Even if it's a community event that you don't want anyone to miss, feel free to add it in the chat box. That's our little Easter egg hunt. PTA did an awesome job. Thank you. It was awesome. I loved it. It was a great weather day. It's so fun. It's so funny. Easter egg hunts are over like that. And then it takes so long to put all the eggs out, and they grab them all in seconds. So any events, add to the chat box, please. All right. And so once again, I want to thank you, moms. I think I just have moms this morning. Moms, for joining me, for your time. That is your most precious resource, I know. And so I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, put in the chat box or contact me. I'm going to look at my chat box here, see if anybody has anything. I don't quite see anything. Let's see. If you want to unmute yourself, anybody want to unmute themselves, feel free to. If you have a question, a concern, a fun thing you want to share. Anybody? No, we're good? All right. And you can always email me later. That's great. I'll send you a copy of this video this morning and send it to as many people as you want. Thank you all. Thank you, moms, for joining this morning. Have a great day. Have a great week. Thank you.
Thank you. You too.